Yeah, so the whole point of this class is to develop stability in the core. So we're controlling the relationship between our ribs and our pelvis and making sure that everything can remain connected. It won't always remain connected while we're doing this, but if we can sort of develop the coordination and control and stuff like that, it's going to make us stronger whenever we're doing certain movements that require straightness and stability and things. So what we're going to do first of all is just get the muscles moving, or loading them anyway, making them sort of challenged, and then as we go, we make it a little bit harder, and then we'll turn into our actual stability and coordination based stuff. So basically, without really messing about too much, do a quick warm up, just getting the hips and stuff moving. So if you want to squat down, push your hips out gently, nice and easy, and then just like form 5 or 6 more squats, just to make sure that your hip joints are moving nice and comfortably. And then once you've done that, just get the shoulders moving, because we'll be using them a little bit as well. Just make sure everything's nice and mobile. And then just for your torso, just gently start to twist around. Use your arms to generate a bit of momentum. And use that just to feel the tissue stretching through your torso. Nice and easy. Okay. So what we'll do first of all is just 3 plank variations. We're going down the normal plank, and then we're doing side plank on either side. And I'll use the timer just to make sure we're doing it the right length of time. We're going to do that 3 times over. Okay. So when you're ready, go 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep checking the mirrors or anything to make sure you're nice and straight. And try not to let anything sink down and push up. Just keep it nice and straight. See if you can get your other muscles going as well. Like, not just the core, you want your glutes, you want some muscles in your legs maybe as well, but generally you just want a nice solid base right through the body. Switch. Keep breathing. Make sure you're breathing down into your belly and not holding it in your chest. You breathe down into your belly, get better control over the core, it helps you sort of keep things nice and stable. And switch again. It's good so far. Keep it up nice and high. Trying to push anything out of position. Keep yourself nice and straight. Good. Done. Good. Take a quick rest there. Get some water if you need it. Just ready to go again. A few more seconds and we're ready to go. Back down. Ready? 3, 2, 1. Let's go. Control your breathing. That's the most important part here. Keep the core nice and tight. Hold yourself nice and straight. Keep checking the mirrors just to make sure. Keep going. Switch. Good, keep it up. Switch again. And done. Good, excellent work. So, just got one more of those to do before we move on. Just get some more, take a rest. With 30 seconds or so. So remember, keep checking the mirrors all the way through it. It's always good to, you might feel straight, but if you're unsure, if you have a mirror around you like I do, just take a check. Make sure your body's nice and straight, nothing's sinking down, or you're not pushing too far away. So, ready to go for the third time. I should start feeling nice and warm through this one. If you're ready to want something a bit more difficult, do 3, 2, 1, let's go. Switch. You're looking too far. Switch. Done, excellent. Okay, so now that we've got things nice and warm, we're going to start fatiguing the core just a little bit, so we can then make the stability work a bit more difficult. We're also going to start working the glutes into what we're doing, because they work in synergy with the core and provide like a really important chain of movement. So the first part of the next one is going to be some simple glute bridges, but we're going to focus, instead of moving the hips, we're going to move, squeeze here and really look for muscle contraction, so we get good control of what we're doing. So it's going to be done on the floor, squeeze as hard as we can, and that'll lift us up. We're just going to do that 5 times, and we're going to do single leg ones 5 times. And then from there, we're just going to do something to make the muscles a little higher, and that's just going to be on the bench. And together, we're just going to go side to side like that, okay? So, get yourself down, water before we go, just grab it. We're going to go together. 3, 2, 1, squeeze up. Really look for that tight contraction. Get it really squeezed in tight, feel your core nice and rigid at the top as well. Down. Up. Make sure you're resting on your shoulder blades at the top. If you're using your elbows or anything else, it'll be quite uncomfortable. Down. 3. Down. 4. Down. And 5. And squeeze that really tight there. And let it down. And we're going to just put one leg out straight in front of us. And we're going to just bring it up level with the rest of our body. Just on one side at a time. So squeeze up. Yeah, push it right out in front of you. That's good. Down. 2. Down. 3. Down. 4. Down. And 5. Down. Switch legs. 1. Down. 2. Down. 3. Down. 4. Down. And 5. Really squeeze through. And down. Good. Forgot to add that we'll be doing just a simple flutter kick variation in between these two. So we'll add that in just as the third one here. Feet on one side of the bench. Get your arms behind you just to make sure you're nice and stable. Good transition. So whenever our feet touch the floor, we're not resting. Touching until you're ready to go. Okay, so ready. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, and down. Excellent. So yeah, I forgot to mention the flutter kick. Through your hips with your hands, just like this. Just keep yourself stability. And what we're going to do is just raise one leg up while the other leg's floating just above the floor. So one leg up, switch. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Breathe down, foot above the floor, and rest. Good. So make sure we're doing that one. It's hard, but keep making sure to drive your leg out really, really straight, just to make sure you're making it more difficult for yourself. And the whole point of this section is to get the glutes working and sort of make your core muscles a little bit tired, so it's harder to do the coordinated stuff in a minute. So take a few more seconds, and then we can back down ready for more bridges. We'll do that a few more times. Really well so far. So, when you're ready, start this time. Yeah. 3, 2, 1. Let's go up. Really look for that squeeze. Drive them right up. Done. 2. Done. 3. Done. 4, down, 5, really squeeze that, done, one leg up, 1, down, 2, down, 3, down, 4, down, and 5, down, just leg. 1, down, 2, down. Keep checking the mirrors if you've got them. 3, down, 4, down, 5, and down. Excellent. Move back and move again. One, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, middle, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, good. I'm back down. I'm back. This time just full on leg raises. Both legs go together and don't touch the floor in between. So, let them out. Step up. Down. 2. Down. 3. Down. 4. Down. 5 in the middle. Down. 6. Down. 7. Down. 8. Down. 9. Down. 10 in the middle. Done. Excellent. Take a quick rest and move for the third time. Throughout all of these movements, it's really important to make sure you're controlling the breathing down into your belly, because that's how we get proper activation in the core whenever it's needed. If you're doing something that involves a lot of coordination, as long as you can make sure you're breathing down into the belly, and the core muscles are going to take care of themselves, provided they're strong enough. So, if there's one thing to bear in mind when we're doing it, it's just to make sure you're doing that. 2 more seconds and ready for the third time. Good. 1. Done. 2. Done. 3. Done. 4. Done. 5. Hold it at the top. Really feel that. Really feel the glutes working. Feel your core working at the same time. Feel how the glutes support each other from different sides. Done. And get the other leg out. The one you started with before. So start with the one normally we're using second. We got that 1. Done. 2. Done. 3. Done. 4. Done. 5. Done. Good. 1. Really squeeze it up. Done. 2. Drive it up. Done. 3. Done. 4. Done. And 5. Done. Excellent. Hips might be getting a bit tight, but don't worry, it's the last one of these. We'll stretch them a little bit before we move on. So we're ready? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, float. 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, float. 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, float. 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, float. 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, good. Take a quick rest. Be quite tight after that. Give yourself a second. Ready to do some flutter kicks again. Back to the first one. Okay. Fingers and hands. Legs back. Let's go for 1. One leg actually get the one before. 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Let them go. Good. Quickly before we move on, roll yourself up. Come up into a little lunge. Just lean forward against that hip and feel the stretch. Just down here. That'll be quite tight after what we just did, so make sure it's giving it a chance just to release some of that tension before we go. we're into our stability and coordination stuff now, so it might not be as difficult to execute, but it'll be a challenge to keep the movements consistent. I can use the other one. So, we're going to start with our first stability movement now. And we've got 3 possible variations to do. I'm going to do them one each time. The first one is getting on all fours. They all involve this position. And we're just going to get the same side to lift an arm and a leg and just draw them up straight. We're going to hold that, and then after 30 seconds, 45 seconds, we're going to switch to the other side. The second variation, you can do any of these in any order. You can do the same one 3 times, it's totally up to you. The second one is just opposite sides, which will be slightly easier. If you find one hard, switch to the other one if you want to. And then the third one is we're going to come up like this, and then every 5 seconds I'll call and we'll just reach one arm and one leg up, okay? So, when you're ready, you get the timer. Okay. 3, 2, 1, let's go. Whichever one you're doing first. No, which one are you reading? Switch. Keep breathing. And don't rest in between, good. So you should feel when you're doing that, you should very much feel that you're having to fight to keep control over everything that's wanting to dip or twist or fall away. And you should very much feel the more you do this, that your hips are becoming more solidly connected to your ribs, and that your upper body, when it moves, if it moves, should move with the rest of the body because it's all fixed together. If it's not, don't worry, it'll come with time. Just make sure you're repeating and doing things like this a lot more. But when we're ready, we're going to do the second one. I'm going to do a different variation this time, so if you want to do that with me, that's fine. This one's slightly easier, just want to show how you do it, okay? So 3, 2, 1, let's go. Keep driving that straight. Switch. Good. And done. Excellent work. If you're wondering why I'm so quiet doing those, because I can hear the clock ticking. I'm just listening to count along because it's easier than using the Fitbit timer. So, we're going to go for the third one. This, if you're doing the same variation, is going to be the hardest one. But if you can't manage it, just go into one of the others, it's totally fine. So, we're down on all fours this time, same as normal, except we're just going to have the knees off the floor for the entire duration. And every 5 seconds, I'm just going to raise a different limb, and we're going to push them out together, okay? 3, 2, 1, let's go. Straighten your left leg out behind you. Right leg. Down. Right arm. Down. Left arm. Down. Right arm, left leg. Down. Left arm, right leg. Down. Keep that relationship tight. Good. Hips and ribs. Down, rest, good. So, this is the most important part coming up. So make sure I'm still in the frame. Yeah, I can move that, good. What we're going to do is, we're going to hold the plank. Move this out. And while we're holding the plank, we're going to perform a series of just randomly selected movements. It's going to be 10 different movements in total. So if you're working with a mat and a bench, get yourself a T shape like this. The mat, the bench going out behind it. Just going to check the angle again. We're going to be in a T shape ourselves, along with the bench like this, in a high plank position. And throughout the time in the high plank, we're going to perform just any assortment of these. So one will be a shoulder touch and down. Whenever you're in the shoulder touch position, you try and keep your feet together. If you splay them out, it makes it much easier. What we want to be able to do is keep the plank, do a shoulder touch, and come down without deviating too much. Another movement will be a knee touch. So you bring your knee up, try and touch one of your hands. Then another one will be opposite arm, opposite leg, just raise them off the floor. We'll also walk left to right, using the bench as well. And then we can do push-ups, or we'll do a hip touch to the floor. So, get yourself some water, take a quick break, and we're ready to do it again. So, pick a side, get down. We're going to go 3, 2, 1, up in the high plank. Just breathe. 1, touch your arm, down. Other arm, down. 2, excellent. Good. Walk up onto the step. And down. 4. Do a push-up. That's 5, good. If you can't do a full push-up, just lower yourself down and come back up. If you can't do push-ups normally, then just do an eccentric. So lower yourself to the floor, coming back up will be the best way to get there. Touch one hip to the floor, and 6. Bring one knee up, touch your hand, down at 7. Opposite arm, opposite leg, down at 8. Opposite arm, opposite leg, down 9. Step over the bench to the other side. 10. And rest. Excellent work. So, We should get decent enough challenge in getting this done. Some of the stuff, especially involving this, is really, really difficult. But the rest of it should just be mostly a challenge for your coordination. So as long as you're breathing, you're focusing on staying nice and even and straight, you should do pretty well. So give yourself a little bit of time. Ready? Back into plank position. Make sure your breathing's nice and easy. If you've got a mirror, check it. Make sure your bum's not up in the air or anything like that. Just keep yourself nice and easy. Good. Do push-ups stuff. Touch one hip to the floor, back up. Another one. Good. Step up onto the bench. See if you can perform shoulder touch on the bench. The other one. Good. Step on the other side. Do another push up. Touch one knee. Touch the other knee. Finish the push up. Hold it up for a sec. And rest. You might find that during the high plank you get wrist pain, and it's just as important to focus on your pressure on the floor as it is to focus on your core. So as your hand pushes into the floor, try and take pressure away from here and direct it there if you can. If your wrists are sore, that'll help. Use the muscles instead of putting pressure all on the bones. Push nice and easy so that all the way across the palm of your hand is even distribution into the ground, okay? Okay. Right. Last one. Let's go up. Put yourself in control, good. Let's come up on the bench. Down. And back again. Down. Push up. Do shoulder touch. Down. Throw arms side. Down. Bring the knee up. Down. Another push up. Hip touch to the floor. And the other one. And relax. Excellent work. Very, very good. So, just going to finish with a couple of stretches. Make sure you can see the mat. Just your hip flexors should be a little loose, but feel free to do the lunge again if you want, just to get them relaxed. Otherwise, let's get down, do a nice active low plank just like this. And just push up nice and gently. Don't shrug your shoulders or anything like that, just pull them back and down. And as you push your chest out, you should feel a nice stretch through your abs. If you can't, push your toes down into the floor and really try and push yourself through your arms. If you need to lift yourself off the floor with your feet, that's fine. Just relax it back. Back up again. And come back. And then just flip over on your back. Take one leg out straight. Bring one knee in. And just pull up to stretch the glute. If you can't feel it, move it across the body towards the opposite side. Just breathe. Other side. Relax, good. So, even if you don't get to do this class again or choose not to do it again, use a lot of those stability movements in your own training, because if you're someone who does a lot of compound lifting or generally maybe has back pain or anything like that, these kind of movements can help take tension away from your back. They can also actually make your core work the way it's supposed to, not just so like doing your sit-ups, twists and things like that. It builds your muscle in your core, but this coordinates it and makes it functional. So thank you very much. I hope we see you again.